Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Today's show is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is a hosted website builder that allows you to quickly and easily get a clean and professional website up and running for your computer or tech-focused business. Save time and frustration with TechSite Builder. Learn more at techsitebuilder.com. And today is brought to you by the DC Unconvention 2017, the second annual conference for IT business owners. Learn from fellow techs and business owners, get strategies that work in the real world, and discover new tech. Learn more at unconvention.io. On today's episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show, we talk about getting over your marketing hangups with Dave Greenbaum of Call Dr. Dave. We'll talk about why it's important to continue to try new marketing techniques, even if you're a seasoned pro. We'll learn about how Dave got over some of his hangups in order to implement some new things in his business that have been very successful. Plus, we'll talk about why it's so important to respond to all of your online reviews, all that and so much more. Coming up right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in the IT services business, this is the place to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just be sure to like the TechSite Builder Facebook page and click on the following tab and then select See First so that you can see the live stream jump to the top of your Facebook feed. All right, guys, we have a great episode planned for you today. The title of this episode is Getting Over Your Marketing Hangups. And today we have Dr. Dave Greenbaum, who's going to be talking to us about his experiences with this. And we're going to learn about how he's gotten over some of his own marketing hangups and maybe some other tidbits, as we say, for the rest of you on some lessons you can learn from that as well. Before we jump into that, though, let's go ahead and say hi to our co-host, Paco LeBron. How you doing, Paco?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing well.
Good. What have you been up to lately?
Busy. No, I shouldn't say busy. I should say productive. It's been a busy last couple days, couple projects. I had to rush out that last episode that we had because I was visiting Google headquarters in Chicago. They had what was the theme? Basically, like how to help improve your business on Google. And it was their more of their ERG, basically their employee resource group for more of a Hispanic twist or style of the things. Basically, it's their OLA is the name of that cohort that they have in Google. And a lot of it was a lot of things that we've discussed where improving your Google My Business listings, the products that are available that are free that can help jumpstart a entrepreneur's basically infrastructure if they need to use something for the interim before making the money to be able to pay for a solution. And a lot of great other information. They also mentioned that they're going to be having a lot of really good workshops on particular items of Google, so analytics, AdWords, things like that. So hoping to take some advantage of some of that over there. But other than that, just business as usual. Just actually, as a lot of people don't know here, I actually just rushed to get to the episode for today because I came from downtown. I had a couple of drop-offs and updating or basically gathering some information for a new client that I have and basically making sure they're up to date and compliant.
Was there any insider tip or something that you didn't know about, Google My Business or any of that stuff that you learned?
Nothing that we haven't gone over. I think probably the biggest is there was a comment feature on particular links that you would put on there to kind of notate certain things that you are editing on a particular document. So more of like the Google Docs, the Google spreadsheets, things like that. I did find out that there are, if you're on the paid Google Apps platform, there are a lot more features, especially automated scripts that are pre-written for stuff like that. But other than that, similar to what we've discussed.
Okay, cool. So we know it all then, I guess.
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, it's all the stuff we've covered in the Computer Business podcast.
Yeah, sure.
So nothing really earth shattering from
That's
there
good.
as of yet, but they are coming up with some new stuff. So
Cool. All right, awesome. Yeah, I love just getting to even just reiterate some of that stuff because there's a lot to remember about, your Google Local and Google My Business and your listings and all that stuff and making sure it's updated. So there's a little pre-tip, a bonus tip for you guys this week is to just check out your Google My Business listing. Make sure all of the information is accurate. Make sure you're filling out all the information. So everything that they ask for, fill it out if you can. If it's something you want to be made public, because that all goes into helping your business look like a healthy, legitimate business and improving your rankings and helping people find you who need you and all that stuff. Especially if you have like a shop or a storefront, it's definitely important where that's concerned. Cool. So with me, I've just been, keeping busy with my website clients. This week has been a week of proposals. So last week and early this week, I met with a few different new clients to talk about new website projects. And this week I'm putting together 3 proposals. So that's exciting. I haven't had a new website build project in a while. So up to now it's been, maintenance and updating here and there and doing that kind of thing. And so it'll be nice to get 3 proposals out and see how that goes. Those are fun projects. I like the projects where I get to build a website from the ground up and get all the creative juices flowing and all of that stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I'll update you guys next week with how those proposals go. They're for 3 very different types of businesses. Like one is an IT business, for example, and another is a car wash. So an IT business and a car wash website. So and that's what I like. I like kind of exploring different types of websites in my website consulting business. So that's going there. Also, just wanted to point out a topic that was brought up in the Facebook, the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group. Again, if you guys have not joined that group, it's an awesome group. It's kind of the sister group to this podcast. Just search Computer Business Marketing in Facebook and you'll find the group there. We have a lot of great topics that we discuss in that group every day. One topic we brought up was we asked about lead capture. So the question asked was, do you have a lead capture form on your website? And if so, how do you entice visitors to give you their contact info? And, I was expecting, some dialogue on this one, but really I only got a couple responses and they were from people who, one person was, getting ready to implement a funnel. That was Patrick, and he was wanting to hear from other people who have done something like that before. And then someone else commented that they didn't really think that kind of thing was right for their business. So I just wanted to, I am going to have a guest. We are going to have a guest on the podcast on a later episode that's going to kind of talk about the whole marketing funnel thing, where basically how it applies to your website is you have your website, someone visits it, but they're not necessarily ready to take on your services, or they're in research mode, right? They're looking for the best place to go. Their need isn't immediate enough to give you a call right this second. So they're bouncing around websites, they're checking stuff out, they're doing research. At that time, you can still, or you want to still capture their information so that you can continue that relationship with them. They're interested in your services, but they're not yet over the hump to actually want to contact you or hire you. So that's a great way, that's a great opportunity to grab them and keep the dialogue going. And the best way really to do that is to have some sort of offer for them when they're on your website, whether it's a free consultation, a free download, a free report. Even your blog posts can serve as this. Very informative or entertaining or engaging blog posts can be that enticing thing that keeps someone on your website. And then from there, you want to ask for their information, whether that's just a simple email address or some more information. I recommend just grabbing the email address if you can. Then you capture that email address, and then that's where you can continue that dialogue. You can really start a conversation with them, send them some emails talking about the different services you offer, get that initial consultation scheduled. All of that stuff happens a lot easier if you have that funnel set up from your website to funnel those people in. And there's a lot of intricacies around that and a lot of things you can try, but that's the basic gist of it. It's something you should do, whether you think it's going to work or not, whether you think it's right for your business or not, because it's really not that hard to set up and it doesn't really hurt anything. You don't have to, and this is going to be something we talk about with Dave actually later on about invasiveness. You don't have to have, a pop-up or, big flashing things asking for people's emails. You say, hey, I have this really useful thing. I'll give it to you in exchange for your email, and I'll send you more useful stuff after you give me your email. This is something that's, worked for many years now, and it's kind of a standard thing on the internet. I just say give it a try. It might not work. It might work, but it doesn't really hurt. So that's kind of our second bonus tip is to try that sales funnel. But if you want to jump into the Computer Business Marketing Facebook page, check out that post. If you do have some sort of funnel set up or some sort of opt-in system or lead magnet, as it's sometimes called, set up, I'd love to hear about what's working for you and your computer business as far as that's concerned. So check that out at the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group. We're almost ready to jump into the interview with Dave Greenbaum, but before we do that, I just want to give a shout out to our first sponsor. That is TechSite Builder. This podcast is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is the platform that you can sign up for, and it will deliver a website for your computer business. It's really a do-it-yourself platform, so you sign up for TechSite Builder, and then you have the tools you need to build a effective website very quickly and very easily for your computer business. Dave Greenbaum here is a client of TechSite Builder, and he's put together an awesome website for his business. And you can do the same. No coding required, no really any kind of website knowledge required. And that's the beauty of TechSite Builder is you get in there, it tells you where to go to fill in your information, and you can be done in an hour. You can have your website up and running. But we strive to give you some further tools to take your website to the next level whenever you're ready to do that. So you can add those email opt-in forms. You can add those call to action buttons. You can add your, a map of your business, your hours, your, blog posts and all that stuff. You can add into TechSite Builder, and really, it's really a fully functional website platform that you can do most anything that your heart desires on TechSite Builder. So check that out. That's at techsitebuilder.com. All right, guys. So that takes us to the featured topic for today. And again, the featured topic is getting over your marketing hangups. And our guest today is Dave Greenbaum, also known as Dr. Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Great. Thanks for inviting me here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here. So before we dig into why we chose this topic and some of the ideas behind it, why don't you tell folks about your business, what you do these days, and a little bit about how you got to where you are now?
Absolutely. So I have been doing Dr. Dave professionally since 2003. I went out on my own, worked for a couple other tech support companies, but kind of was doing it on the side really since about 1990. So I've been in this for a while. That's kind of when people first started calling me Dr. Dave, and it kind of stuck. So when I was deciding on a business name, when I went out on my own, I did that. And I'm primarily break fix, about 50% Mac, 50% PC, and I've got about 3 technicians working with me now.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So where did the name come from, Dr. Dave? Was that a name that was given to you, or is that a name you came up with?
It was a name that was given to me. People would have trouble with their computer, and they'd say, "Hey, let's just call Dr. Dave." And just some client went ahead and started calling me that, and I started getting referrals, and people said, "Are you Dr. Dave?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah, whatever. I'm here to fix your computer, so sure, call me Dr. Dave." And it kind of stuck. And when I was working for other companies and I was doing this on the side, that's the way people got to know my name. And it just, like I said, just kind of stuck. It was kind of cute. I kind of described my approach, kind of hands-on, and that's when the tagline, "We make mouse calls," came in. So there was house calls and it was mouse calls, and another client went ahead and said, "Oh, are you coming in for a mouse call?" And again, it was a cute thing and it just stuck.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's going to go to kind of something we're going to talk about later, but you're listening to what your clients are saying and you're delivering it. And that even goes back to your branding and your name for the business.
Absolutely.
And that's a thread that I see through everything that you do, is listening to the clients and delivering what they want. So the genesis of the topic we're going to talk about today kind of comes back, for me at least, to last year's Unconvention up in Toronto that you attended and I attended. And there was something you picked up there that you were kind of hesitant about, and you were, turned into a believer. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened there at the Unconvention last year?
Sure. So, we went to the Unconvention, which was an absolutely amazing experience for me. And we were in a discussion talking about texting customers. And there's very strong sides on both of that, for and against. And what I found out, it's really a generational thing. People who grew up with texting kind of expect it from businesses. People who didn't grow up with texting saw it as invasive. So way back in 1990, we didn't really have texting. We didn't really have cell phones. So even when I went out on my own in 2003, the idea of texting a customer cost them money. So you just would never think of doing that. Not everyone had a cell phone as their primary method of communication. And back then, you had the tiny little buttons and stuff like that to text and had to press things 4 times. It was not very convenient.
The good old T9.
Yeah. Now with smartphones, it's a lot easier to text customers, and listening to people in the room and seeing the generational change of it, and seeing how many people were successful with SMS marketing, I took the plunge and I tried it, and it was just phenomenally successful. The first day I got back, I started texting via my Google Voice account. And within
what kind
a
of
day,
stuff were you texting?
it was just people that called, and I couldn't reach them. And you play a lot of that phone tag with customers, and I've got a little text message that says, "Thanks for contacting Dr. Dave. We haven't been able to reach you by phone. Is there any way we can assist with your computer needs?" So the first time I did it, we went back and forth, scheduled the appointment, and when I met with a client, I said, "Why did you just not call and leave a message?" She says, "I was at my daughter's swim meet. This was the most efficient method of communication," and she thanked me profusely for making it easier to work with me. And then I was hooked. And then I started doing that all the time. And I realized I live in a college town. A lot of these students are texting me in the middle of class about their computer problems. So it makes perfect sense. And I just had this prejudice of, I want to think of texting a business. I never grew up with texting. It's not something I do, but hey, this is where my clients are. This is where I need to be. I need to get outside of my comfort zone and just do it. And it was great. And if it weren't for the Unconvention, really seeing a room of successful people saying, "Of course you text a client. Why wouldn't you text a client? Everyone texts." That made a believer out of me. And I was just like, okay, the cash register makes it very easy to get over biases and prejudices very quickly.
Nothing like the little green presidents on there.
Yep.
But you make a good point, right? Because there's a lot of CRM systems that actually offer this feature as well, built in either as an add-on or by default if into their own premise. Like Repair Shopper has this feature as well as an add-on. You buy X amount of SMSs per month, or I guess X amount of how many you may need, and you can go ahead and send a message twice via email, text after you've made a phone call. So like you just said, it's just another form of communication. And I think it's one of those where you rather say sorry versus asking for permission, because at that point, you never know who's going to really want it. And you may get a quicker response for a process that may need to get done as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I think customers, I think expect it these days from businesses. I know if I go to any restaurant, I'm showing my age. Back in the day, there'd be a wait list, and you'd have to sit outside. Then they moved to pagers, And now it's like, hey, give us your phone number, we'll text you. And I don't see anyone having a problem with that. And yeah, you might get a marketing message, but as long as you click stop or something like that, you're fine.
Yeah, so that kind of brings up another point then. And so what you've said so far is that you're basically using texts to keep in contact with existing clients. Have you tried sending out some kind of like, hey, we have a special, or hey, here's a new service or something like that, like something that's not necessarily a message that's not requested at the time?
Baby steps.
Right.
I just started feeling comfortable with SMS and started feeling a little bit more comfortable with newsletter marketing. So maybe 10 years from now, maybe after the convention in DC, y'all will convince me to start texting customers marketing messages. But right now, I gotta one step at a time.
And I think that's a great point, is that a lot of these techniques that might seem invasive at first, like email marketing, like even like maybe social media or texting or whatever, you can start off with it just being a kind of a two-way conversation at first, right? With existing clients, test it out with existing clients, see how the medium, how they react to the medium. And then from there, maybe start trying some different, more not aggressive, but I don't know what the word is, not offensive either, but like, proactive, there we go, proactive messaging and marketing and stuff like that. That you can kind of experiment with once you figure it out. And I do that with existing clients as well. Even like with new services I want to offer, sometimes I'll reach out to a handful of my best clients and say, hey, here's this new service that I'm offering now. Would you be interested? And I kind of walk through it very slowly with them, figure out maybe what some of their hangups will be, what some of the roadblocks would be for them to take on the service, get their questions answered on a one-on-one basis. And then once I get that figured out, then I can offer it broadly to my entire client base with the confidence that I've already kind of worked through some of the kinks with some of my best clients. And that's a good thing to try with text marketing or anything else like this, I think.
Yeah, I think another thing too, a lot that you can treat it similar like you do with email opt-ins. I mean, there's a lot of businesses that have a text service that has an opt-in first. And if that person opts in, then you kind of they're opening that door for any type of communications, which should be what it was intended to be used at first, but also slight check-ins, marketing materials after a certain amount of time, things like that. I think an opt-in approach may also work as well in this case.
Yeah, and marketing is not necessarily always advertising. Marketing is anything that gets your business out there, and it's also with existing clients, right? To let your existing clients know that you're there, to do a great job for your existing clients so that they refer you and that they talk about you and that they keep coming back to you. I mean, that's all marketing. And so it can start at the level where you're just keeping your existing clients happy and talking to them in ways they want to be talked to and on mediums they want to be talked to, and then just start branching that out until you start going out to people who aren't even your clients, to people who might potentially be your clients on those mediums, and then talking to them that way as well. And I think that's a great kind of way to approach it. So, this kind of all stems from the fact that you've been in business a while, you've been doing this a while, you've had a successful business. And so a lot of, I find sometimes when talking to, business owners that have been in business for a while, is they have kind of their established routines and the way they've done things. And they say it's worked for me so far. So what was, I guess, the thing that convinced you to take on a new kind of, maybe like the SMS marketing, a new kind of approach to this marketing technology?
It really came down to networking with other business owners and hearing their success stories. I have my own mindset of the way I think things should be, but I'm not a customer. I would never call me to fix my computer. No, sorry, do not call me to fix my computer. That's whenever I have a computer problem, yeah, I'm in big trouble because I can't call anyone to fix it. But really, it's understanding where your clients are and listening to these people and saying, "Hey, I've been successful. Hey, I've been successful," and realizing, "Wait a minute, I'm going in with some prejudice." We get comfortable in the way of doing things. Where if you're moderately successful, if you've been doing it for a while, as you said, why change? It's worked for me, but you never take it to that next level. And what would happen is 5-10 years down the road, I'd be the only company on the block that you can't text message to do a service call. It's like, oh, that Dr. Dave guy, I can't even text him. What's up with that? So you get passed by really quickly. And that was the other thing, listening to all these youngins, gosh, the gray hair showing there. All the youngins at the unconvention talking about, yeah, I'm doing SMS marketing. It's working great. I all these times I don't even talk to the clients. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I need to get ahead of this curve, because one of these people could come into my community and they're going to be offering a service that people want that I don't provide, and my market share is going to decrease quite a bit.
Yeah, that's it. And you don't, a lot of times when a dip like that happens in your business, you're not going to know why, because the people who say, I'm not going to use Dr. Dave because he's, I can't reach him easily, they're not going to say that to you. They're just going to go somewhere else, and then you're not sure why. And so that's really kind of an incentive to try all these new marketing techniques that you might not, have thought maybe they didn't work for you, 5 years ago when you tried it, but maybe now it would work for you. Do you have any other examples of like different, either marketing techniques or things you've done in your business that, it took you a while to jump on the bandwagon with, or you were surprised how well it worked for you?
Absolutely. Newsletters, email newsletters. I hate email newsletters. I hate getting those. I mean, every once in a while, if there's something of value in there, I'm like, yeah, there's a coupon. There's, like the new egg emails. Yeah, I check that every morning because I want to know what's on special, what I need. But for the most part, it's just, it's annoying. It goes in my spam folder and I can never find it. Well, I didn't realize that some customers really like that. Like, if there's a value and if there's things of interest, customers will like it. So I started initially sending quarterly emails, had a huge response to it. People just loved it. I'm like, really? There's nothing very interesting here. Why are you interested in it? Really, read the tube of toothpaste. It's more interesting than what I'm having to say. But it was always something of value. It was always, hey, there's this class action lawsuit that you need to be aware of. The first one I sent out was that a couple years ago was that memory lawsuit where basically everyone got money back that owned a computer. And then I went from yearly to quarterly. Again, a successive approximations, got a good response to that. And then it was really through people I met at the unconvention and joining some of the Facebook groups and people I respected. It's a lot harder when you talk to someone online that you've not met in person. You're like, I don't know about this person. But when you meet them in person and you start respecting them more, you go ahead and you start listening to what they had to say, like you two guys. I met you two at the unconvention. So, and I signed up for the Tech Nibble newsletters. And I sent it out, got a huge response off of that. Like people, and then I started on Repair Shopper when people scheduled an appointment and they got their confirmation. I said, hey, sign up for a newsletter at the bottom. And, a 10% of people sign up for it. I'm like, you don't even know what I have to say yet, and you're signing up for the newsletter? Really?
Wow. That's a really good tip, actually, not to interrupt, but as far as like finding ways to be able to grab that email and just being able to give them that newsletter. I didn't even think about the confirmation email for the scheduled appointment saying, hey, we've scheduled your appointment. By the way, if you're interested in our newsletter, go ahead and sign up here. I think that's actually a really good idea.
Well, thank you. So I put in there every month I go in and there's a little bit of a preview. Hey, if you're interested in these topics, go ahead and click on the newsletter. The other thing I did just this week, which was huge, I'm seeing my little phone thing go off. I've gotten about 35 responses off of that. I sent an email out to clients that had Yahoo addresses saying, hey, listen, there's been all these hacks of Yahoo. You really need to get off of Yahoo. Either go with Gmail or get your own domain name. Humongous response. People are like, yeah, I want to sign up. I want to get off of Yahoo, make it happen. And I offered a 20% discount for that. And the other thing I love is these clients said, hey, I've been meaning to give you a call while you're out here. I know this isn't part of your deal or whatever, but while you're out here fixing my Yahoo, can you fix these 20 things? Like, yeah, sure. And what I love about these so far is they're not emergency customers. So I can put them off till next week or the week after. So we're really kind of scheduling these out. I sent the same email out. Our ISP in town has been sold 4 times. It used to be Sunflower, then it became Knowledge, Knowledge became Wow, Wow became Midco. And these people have these sunflower.com email addresses, and they're deathly afraid of getting rid of them because, we're in Kansas, Sunflower State. But they've had it for so long. It's like, how do I even switch email providers? I say, if Google Fiber came here tomorrow and we are just on the edge of Google Fiber's coverage, you realize you're going to lose your Sunflower email address if you switch ISPs. And they need an incentive. So I went ahead and sent out a targeted message to all the Yahoo addresses, all the Sunflower addresses. And next week, I'm going to send them out to all the AOL customers with the same basic message of, hey, there's this AOL desktop gold. You have to pay $3.99 a month for the desktop version. Don't do that. Please just give us a call. If you want to use AOL, continue. I'll show you how to access AOL via the web, or it's time to get off of an AOL address. And the businesses clients that I spoke with that were on the Sunflower or the Yahoo address loved it because, I have this on my business card. What do? I don't know how to switch. I said, well, we've helped customers before. Basically, you wait till your marketing materials are gone, change your reply to. I say, ultimately, why are you advertising Yahoo or Sunflower when you should be advertising your own business on your domain name?
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot more professional where it's, Joe Q Plumber as opposed to Joe Q Plumber at yahoo.com. So customers just ate that up. And I was really scared. I'm like, am I going to get, I'm like checking my MailChimp every hour. Okay, have I been cut off? Have I gotten all these abuse requests? No. I had 700 emails. I had one person unsubscribe, and they emailed me and said, hey, you know what? I've been keeping this email address. I've moved outside of the country, so I went ahead and unsubscribed, but not a single abuse report. I'm like, yeah, I do abuse reports all the time. I don't like what you have to say. I'm going to report it. Right. So I was absolutely amazed at that, just because I don't like newsletters for the most part. I don't find anything I have to say of interest. I don't know why y'all were listening, but I realize I'm not the target market of my products or information. So really getting over that and really seeing things from the customer's perspective. One thing I did was all this stuff. I had my sister who is tech savvy enough to know when to call me when there's a problem, but not tech savvy enough to fix anything. I say, what do you think about these messages? Does this speak to you? She's like, yeah, I would change this. I didn't really understand what you were describing here. Made a little bit of modifications. After she did that, my open rate went up about 20% because she was my target market much more than I was. I was proofreading it for, does it make sense? Did I make sure to use who's versus that's and stuff like that? Are my apostrophes in the right place? But beyond that, it was humongous, the difference, because we're always in the mindset of thinking about what we want and what we would do as business owners. And that is totally wrong. We got to be thinking about what our customers want, and our customers change over time. Our target market is going to be getting older. The customers we have now are going to get older. Their needs are going to get changed. And a whole new base of customers are going to come in with different needs and different expectations.
Yeah. A couple things, because you hit like quite a bit of things that are all, you've spot on with a lot of the stuff. One of the things like you do, and I would encourage everybody who's listening as well, is if you don't have someone that you can kind of show the newsletters or see that the content is interesting, look at your very first customer who's been with you the longest, or your favorite customer, and have them look it over, because more than likely they're going to do that favor for you, and you probably don't have to offer them any type of incentive to do it. But if that hits home for them and that's your type of customer, it's going to speak volumes, similar to how you just mentioned, like your sister's going to be the target market you're trying to get. Similar here, where if you don't have someone personal that you can do that with, go to your few first customers or your favorite customers, because they love working with you. You love talking to them. I think John Dubinsky said it best. If you find this customer at a party and you're trying to duck away from them, that's not going to be your ideal customer. But if it's someone that you can go ahead and grab a beer with, that's the person you want to go ahead and share this type of information with, just to see if this is a good idea and go from there. The other piece of it is you mentioned unsubscribes. Unsubscribes are a natural piece to email marketing. So don't get discouraged if you get a few unsubscribe here and there, because well, again, depending on how you got these email addresses. If you bought a list, then shame on you. But you want to get these organically. You want to get these through relationships. You want to get these as an opt-in versus just kind of just sending them out, unless it's a mass email for the better good of your customers. So like similar to how you did with Yahoo, I actually just did recently with the WannaCry and the ransom outbreaks overseas and basically spreading around that ransomware. I had gotten a lot of calls just concerned on, hey, am I okay? Do I gotta do anything? So I just sent a mass email to all my customers basically saying, make sure your Windows up to date, make sure your antivirus is up to date, make sure all your third-party stuff is good to go. We have a protection plan. We can help monitor these type of things. For those that are on our plan, don't worry about it. If anybody has any questions, let me know. So it not only gave them actionable items for them to do it, it wasn't as a hard pitch, but I mentioned, hey, we have something available. And I got quite a few emails either thanking me or interested in the protection plan because I mentioned it for those that were already on it. Don't worry about it. And it was a casual flow, and it wasn't really a pitch fest on that part of that. Other last thing, as you mentioned, for newsletters, what has really been really working for me is those Technibble newsletters, printing them and sending them to my clients I haven't seen in over a year. And what that has done for me has, for those who may have unsubscribed, or like you say, a lot of people get a ton of email, especially those on Gmail. It's going to go to their promotions tab. They may not see it until they go into that tab, and it's probably buried with every other newsletter. What I've done is, for those that I haven't seen in quite some time, I'll send a really good newsletter or one of my favorites that I've sent out, print it, send it on a good cardstock or a decent sheet that doesn't show any creases, send them in a 6x9 envelope. And this was talked about in one of the Facebook groups, that a 6x9 envelope has a much bigger open rate for him versus any other envelope, and send it over to the client and see from there. And I've gotten quite a few of them that were even outside of my CRM system that I had stored on a Google Drive before I even had Repair Shopper, that I completely forgot about, that I found these client documentation that I kept and sent them all out. They were glad to hear from me. I think I got, so far, we sent them out to about 58 people. We've heard from 15, and I believe 10 of them will be coming in the office in the next week or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So,
great.
I mean, it may be just an influx of how that came, but print, I never thought about print newsletters whatsoever. But I was watching a couple things as well from some players in our space, and they swear, a lot of bigger MSPs really have sworn by printed newsletters and the content that's in those newsletters. So I've tested it out, and it's been working pretty well.
That's great. That's a great ninja tip. That's something I never would have thought of. And that's perfect, right? That's a great way to reach out to folks. That's not something I think a lot of computer businesses are doing, is sending out the physical letters. And there are some folks that just, that's how they best get information. And that's, they read every piece of mail they get. And especially if they're not used to getting mail from you, they're like, oh, hi, Prodigy Tech sent me a letter. That's, I remember I did business with them. Let me see what they're up to. And
yep. And there was nothing pitching about it. It's just the Technibble white label newsletter. They have their print version of that newsletter. So shameless plug for the Technibble white label newsletter. You can print it right out. You can modify it in Word, print it out, get it printed, and kind of send it on its way. And it has your photo on it. You can put your phone number and contact information on it, and just go from there.
Awesome. Great stuff. Yeah. Technibble newsletter. We mentioned Repair Shopper. All of these are, excellent tools that computer business owners are using to help them with their marketing and everything. So we love those guys. We'll have links to those folks in the show notes. So great. I think that wraps it up. We got a lot of great actionable tips in this episode. A lot of good little tidbits abound. Even, when we went live to Facebook before we started recording the podcast, we had some cool tips. So again, a reason to join us live. Just a reminder, 4 p.m. Eastern time on the Tech Site Builder Facebook page. You can check us out live. But before we go, Dave, just let folks know if they want to follow up with you or follow you or get more info. What's the best way people can find you online?
Awesome. So I posted in the Tech Site Builder site, or the Facebook page, a link to my Facebook page. You can always like it. My tech site builder website is calldrdavekc.com, calldrdavekc.com. Don't go to my old website; it sucks. Go to the new tech site builder one; it's much better. And I'm on Twitter, same handle, calldrdave, and yep.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Dave. I want to call you, even though you're not actually a doctor. I feel like I'll always want to call you
Everybody
Dr. Dave.
does. I love it.
Thanks, Dave. Actually, stick around because we're going to jump into our next sponsor spot here, which is the Unconvention. And so I want to keep you around for that because all three of us actually here have been to the Unconvention. So I wanted to, instead of me just reading about what's going to happen at the Unconvention, you can listen to past episodes to hear about, the cool lineup of things that we're going to be happening at this year's Unconvention in Washington, D.C. Just a reminder, it is a convention for IT business owners. If you own a computer business, if you're a one-person consultant, or you have a few employees, or you're an MSP, this is the place for you to come to network with your peers, get awesome information, and learn how to grow your business, take it to the next level. Dave, if you wouldn't mind, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but if you can just kind of give a quick, how you felt about going to the inaugural Unconvention last year in Toronto.
Well, honestly, I was kind of curious. I know you all would be there. I'm like, okay, it's an excuse to go to Toronto. I've never been to Canada. I want to try poutine for the real thing and check out the beer and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna meet people. It's gonna be social. I'm not gonna pick up anything. I mean, I've been doing this for forever. What the heck am I gonna learn at an Unconvention? I know it all. Yeah, I was dead wrong. I mean, it was great because I just remember, we had the meeting and then we were all sitting there. We were at the hotel. We were at the restaurant at the hotel, and a bunch of these tables started getting together. And we all started talking. We all started sharing ideas, and I started learning so much. I mentioned something that was an annoyance. I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. I had never thought about doing it that way. And then I was sharing, and we were up just till the wee hours of the morning. And I'm like, wow, I just got so much. I was probably up an hour and a half after that, just taking notes, trying to remember stuff. And I'm still trying to implement the stuff I learned there. And, oh, no, we're going to have it again in September. I know I still haven't got it done what I promised to get done last year, but it really was great. And I really had that kind of attitude of, I know this stuff. I don't need to go to a convention like this. I'm successful. I'm doing well. But, it was really the minute I got back and did that SMS marketing and that first client, it's like, wow, okay, I just got to do this stuff. And I've been, you take it in little pieces. You start doing things. And then all the people I met, I met you all. I met a bunch of people that I can message when I have a problem or something like that. It's great. It's network. What I liked was the variety of people. It wasn't all new people that were just in business. It was that great mix of people just starting out, people who have been doing it for a while. There's quite a few people who went through the full cycle. They went through, hey, I started on my own. I tried my own repair shop. I tried my own MSP. I had a bunch of employees, and now I'm doing things completely different. And I really learned about every stage of a business and was able to meet people with it. So it was really, I hate to say life-changing, but I've been doing this a long time, and I've never felt. I left that convention so excited about my business and so excited to do new things. I'd been doing it for so long. There was nothing new under the sun. I realized, hey, there's a lot of things I can be doing to grow the business, and it has grown immensely since I went to that convention in Toronto.
And I think
that was my pitch.
That was great. I was like, hey, we'll just record that and use that every episode because I can't ask for a better endorsement of it. And really, that's what I loved most about the Unconvention. Unlike traditional conferences or conventions that you go to for IT businesses, this one is really focused on networking and interacting. And we have, we limit it to 100 folks. So you got to get your tickets early, get in there, make sure you're there. And then, even from there, we break off into smaller groups so that you can, network with folks. It's a dialogue. It's not some person on the stage talking at you. It's a group of computer business owners. All of our speakers are computer business owners. All of the attendees are computer business owners. There's nothing like, hey, this is a guru, or hey, this is someone who's better than you. It's just all of us, having a dialogue, learning from each other. And I think that's what makes the Unconvention very special. So we want to see you guys at the Unconvention. We'd love, all three of us are going to be there. We want to see you there as well. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. this year, September 16th and 17th. Head on over to unconvention.io. When you purchase your tickets, use the promo code TSB. Use that coupon code that's going to give you $40 off your tickets to the Unconvention. We can't wait to see you there, and we can't wait to learn from you and have you learn from everybody else at the Unconvention. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We also have our marketing tip of the week. And the marketing tip of the week that I wanted to give you guys for your computer business is to always respond to reviews. So, you know, as computer business owners, a lot of us have physical shops, brick and mortar shops where people come in and all that stuff. But even if you don't, there's still, you know, the Yelps, the Google reviews, the Facebook reviews. There's lots of different ways people can review your business. That's awesome because you can highlight that great feedback that people give you, but that can also lead to, you know, if there's a miscommunication or a misunderstanding or something, you know, goes awry, those folks could leave bad reviews for your business as well. And there's really nothing you can do about it other than actually taking the time to respond to those reviews. So some folks, they get a bad review and they're like, I don't want to, you know, I want to ignore it. I hope it goes away. When in reality, that review is going to be there for a long time. So if it truly was a misunderstanding, make sure you go in there and respond to the review. I know I have great respect for products and services I use that I was disappointed with for some reason. I leave a bad review and then they reach back out to me. They either reply to my review or sometimes they'll even send me a personal email saying, hey, you know, sorry about what happened. We want to make it better for you. We want to make it right. And that's really kind of makes the difference. And so, you know, I urge all of you folks who, you know, make sure you're checking your reviews and all the different places you can get reviews. Encourage people to leave reviews. And if, you know, there's a negative review that comes through, be sure to respond to it and try to make it right in that public forum of the review. That way people can see, other people who are coming who read that bad review can see that you're actually out there trying to make it right and trying to, you know, make the situation better. And I think a lot of folks appreciate that. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
I would just add, I would slightly disagree on a tiny portion of that. I think you should respond to all reviews, good or bad, because if you just respond to the bad reviews, people see that and are more likely to leave a bad review. And if you respond to all the reviews, it shows you are an engaged, caring business owner. It doesn't just respond when things go wrong, does things correctly when things go right. So I think even if it's just a, hey, thanks for posting that, you're going to encourage more customers to post positive reviews. So when that negative review comes up, it seems like an anomaly rather than, oh, you know, he only pays attention when something goes wrong, not when something goes right.
Yep. And I even confirmed with Google at two of their workshops that it gives it a better premise on their search results if you reply to all, because exactly like you said, I used to only reply to the ones that were the bad reviews, and I completely ignored the ones that wrote the good reviews. So essentially when I heard about that and I asked, well, when is it already too late? Essentially, does it seem weird? They're like, no, just go back and reply to all the old ones that you have that are good or bad, and just put in all the information that you have in there, thanking them or explaining what happened. And the best way to respond to the reviews is not at the person, but really to any future or prospect customer on what actually happened. So essentially, you know, kind of explaining the whole scenario, but showing that you're very empathetic for that customer who left a negative review to get that prospect or prospective customer to still want to go with your services.
Yeah, and you know, that's I appreciate and I love business owners that are engaged, and that's what those reviews tell you. If you respond to the reviews, it shows that you exist. The worst thing is when you purchase a service or a product and then you have an issue or something happens and the company is nowhere to be found or they take forever to get back to you. And so if I see reviews where the business owner is responding to all of them, I know he's engaged. He or she is there. They're going to care about what their customers think, and that just gives me warm and fuzzy feeling, and I want to do business with them again. And even comments in the Facebook page, people are saying, you know, businesses have reached out to me. They've gotten my repeat business because of that. And I think we can all agree that that's a good practice. So a reminder, guys, make sure you're doing that in your own computer businesses. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Let's keep the conversation going. Head on over to computerbusinessmarketing.com and let us know what you think in the comments section below the show notes over there. Don't forget, you can send questions or feedback on the shows to mail@techsitebuilder.com, or just visit the website at computerbusinessmarketing.com. Fill out the contact form there, and we will get back to you. You can also join us live in Facebook at 4 p.m. Eastern on the Tech Site Builder page, and you can ask questions there, and we'll respond to them there as well.
Or 3 p.m. Central for those in the Midwest. But if you listen to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to give us a shout out and leave us a review. We love to hear your feedback, and every comment helps so that the podcast can be found by others.
Finally, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Tech Site Builder and the DC Unconvention 2017. Thanks again for checking out the Computer Business Marketing Show. My name's Matthew Rodella.
And this is Paco LeBron.
Saying here's to your success.